It's the Daily Doug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. Y'all, we are off this week. I am taking a well-deserved rest, but I wanted to make sure that we have some new content dropping on the channel this week while we are away. And today I am reaching back into the Daily Doug vault to bring you a pre-recorded reaction from just a few weeks ago, actually, but I wanted to include it here because it's the first week of August. It's hot as balls outside. It's the height of summer. And just a few weeks ago over on Patreon, we listened to and counted down our favorite songs of summer for the second time. These are songs that are either specifically about summertime or songs that remind us of great memories that we have made during this time of year. And the song that won was Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, but we had a very eclectic group of musicians in this countdown. We heard music from Joni Mitchell, Meatloaf, Electric Light Orchestra, The Monkees, Spock's Beard, Mungo Jerry, Chicago, It's a Beautiful Day, The Aristocrats, and the Beach Boys. We've got a little bit of everything in there, and that's what I love about this community. We've got a great source of information and love of music from all of these folks that are part of our community. And so when I ask them what their favorites in a specific genre are, we get a wide variety of music to choose from, and these were the ones that got upvoted the most. But the Beach Boys with Good Vibrations won the poll, and so that's the one that I wanted to share with y'all today. So here is my reaction to Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. That means we have one more. Y'all, are you ready? The one that won the poll. And it has to be Good Vibrations from the Beach Boys. And somewhat of a surprise to me, this one comes from Arrow to the ACL, our resident Haken fan, the prog rocker who loves a whole bunch of these great songs. He's going back to the Beach Boys, and I'm glad that he did. Arrow says it was between this and Kokomo. Kokomo's a good song too. I remember that from the late 80s. He says Good Vibrations seems a little more interesting as far as a musical reaction. I think it's going to be, for sure. He says to not have the Beach Boys make the first or second installment of the summer songs on here on Fan Favorites would be a huge travesty. So I am here to rectify that. Arrow, you always have the best intentions for this community at heart. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for making this suggestion, and thanks y'all for voting this one up. I think it's a great way to finish off this second edition of our favorite songs of summer. This song was first released as a single in October of 1966. It was several months after Pet Sounds was released earlier in that same year. And the song was then also included on the band's next full album, which was Smiley Smile, released in 1967, the following year. So in his biopic, Brian Wilson had said that as a child, his mother had told him that dogs would pick up vibrations from people. And so when you saw a dog barking at someone or responding nervously or aggressively towards someone, the dog had picked up bad vibrations from those people. I've seen this happen, by the way. And dogs are smart, y'all. If I am just meeting a person and I want to know if that's a person that I should trust or not trust, when we had our dog Cassie, if she would react well to them, I knew that I could trust them. And if she was trepidatious of them, then I was too, because I trusted my dog's instincts. You know what I'm saying? So I understand where Brian's coming from this. And he ended up equating vibrations and emotions here. And so we pick up some good vibrations when we do pick up good vibrations from people, specifically someone that we're attracted to, then it's time to have some fun, right? So Good Vibrations happens here from the Beach Boys, and it's been a long time since I've heard it, but I have heard it. I'm quite familiar with the song. As I recall, it's got some very interesting movements and musical elements that are included in this. I mean, Brian is a bit of a wizard when it comes to songwriting and arranging, especially the vocal arrangements. And they had just come off doing Pet Sounds, and they're in their element, right? So it's going to be fun for us to go back and hear Good Vibrations. Let's did it. Let's get it, y'all. Here is Good Vibrations from the Beach Boys. Off we go. There we go.
I love the colorful clothes she wears and the way the sunlight plays upon her hair.
E flat minor, down a whole step, down a whole step to lay, to soul, then relative major.
She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations.
Up a whole step. Up another whole step. Then that's 5 back to where they came from. E flat minor to D flat, and then C flat or B, and then to the 5, B flat. And then from that 5, it resolves to E flat minor's relative major, G flat. And then it goes up from G flat to A flat. And then up to B flat. And then B flat stays there. And they're using a jangly piano. New section, right? Based on what had come before. Ah, yes. They haven't been in this key before. This is an F.
Vibrations are happening with her. Gotta keep those lovely vibrations are happening with her. Gotta keep those.
So we start on F, go up to 2 to 5, 1. And we got to F from that B flat that we were on. Ah! So all of the fascinating sounds that they're doing are just done. Whoa! It went down. It went down again. They're doing it in the opposite direction. Back up. How about that? I want to play the theremin on this. You know, if you're not really listening and just enjoying the music, it sounds great, and it sounds like summer. But like Arrow was talking about, if you're really paying attention, they're all over the joint in that song. And there's more than just an A and a B in that. A lot of songs have just an opening section or an A section and a B section, and they're kind of going back and forth like verses and choruses, right? This has like a C and a D maybe in it, like a lot of different ideas for a short pop song to be included in there. Well, how about that? You know, y'all, last year I recorded a reaction about this same time of year to Pet Sounds, the entire album by the Beach Boys. That's still available on our Patreon. And as I think about and dwell on my reaction and read into Good Vibrations, I'm realizing that I know just enough about this band to be dangerous. You know, they've got just iconic songs that, of course, I know, but reading in and understanding the background of Brian as well as the other members in the band, it really informs me, and I have never looked into them personally too much. So every time I come back to the Beach Boys, I learn some new things, and I really have come to respect Brian, especially, and his wizardry with the way that he writes these songs. And the band is iconic with their blend and their vocals and all the instrumentation and the fascinating way that all these sounds are put together. I was reading that with this song, it was a new method of operation for Brian Wilson. Instead of working to put together an entire song so that it could be performed down in the recording studio, he specifically brought this together through segments, and a segment was recorded and put together, and then they would do a separate one, and they'd do a separate one, and then they splice them all together and make a song. It was a slightly different way of operating than they had done previously, and it was foreshadowing a lot of the editing and manipulation that can be done by bands as they're putting together these more complicated songs. It means that they don't necessarily have to be able to play everything from front to back, that they can focus on certain sections and then put them together for the album. And that's what they did with Good Vibrations. That's why it kind of moves from one to the other, and it's like, oh, that's a new section. Oh, that's a new section. How'd they do that? Well, that's how they did it. And you know, I look forward to doing more reactions to music from the Beach Boys, either their early career or their later parts of their career. I find Brian Wilson's music really intriguing, and so it was great, but also fun, right? It's an amazing thing to put together music that is really complicated in its harmonic usage, but also just appeals to a wide variety of people and makes us feel good. It's a special thing, y'all. And so this special song stays with us all these years later. So I thank y'all for being with me. We've been hearing some good vibrations from the Beach Boys. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.